Welcome to the Lost Zone Podcast. My name is Scott.
And I'm Jeremiah Johnson. It's a Halloween month, and it's episode 281, and that's a prime number, and that's all I gotta say. Now take it, Scott.
Happy Halloween, everyone. This is the episode that is most likely going to drop before Halloween, because the next one, I believe, drops the day after. So.
Or Halloween proper. I think
we can do it proper if you.
My thought is we're gonna have to record the next episode early. So my thought was posting the next one the morning of Halloween or the night before.
Not a Halloween episode, everyone. I am a.
This is a Halloween
trickster.
Week. Yes.
Not a traitor.
This is a Halloween week episode, though, or Halloween month episode. This is Halloween week. That is so you'll be hearing this actually just the morning after we record it. So this is all fresh news from the news that falls through the cracks.
Absolutely. So what we do with this show for new time listeners, and if you're an old time listener, skip ahead about 60 seconds.
Yeah.
What we do is we take odd news stories from the internet.
Hold on, can I just say, like, I just picture people like skipping the 10-second button, like, come, cunt, fuck, cunt, fuck. I just figure like that's what it must sound like to just skip hear us 10 seconds at a time.
Not the opening, but the rest of the show, sure. If that's how you want to listen to the rest of the show, go right ahead. Opening's pretty clean because it's informational.
It is true, and you got it down to a science.
Well, we take deep, dark stories from the internet, stuff you don't find on CNN, Fox News, MSNBC, or other fake news journalists.
Yeah.
And we dig those weird news stories up, tell you a little bit about them, and then we twist them into new content, whether it be a movie, a TV show, a book, a comic book, a stand-up routine, cookbook, does not matter.
Yep.
It's just new content, and all we ask, go ahead and make it. If
go ahead
if
and make
you like that new content, you think that would be a horror short or a movie or a comedy series, do it. Just give us some credits. Maybe inspired by Scott and Jerry.
Yeah, or if you need you're like, oh, I'd like a voice on this or something like that. Or here's one of the things that I think would be I would say would be really awesome is if anybody out there is a video game producer of any kind, go back. First of all, you should listen to the old episodes anyway, but definitely go back and listen to the last one if you're a video game person, because you and I came up with an awesome video game idea. We're not going to rehash it here because you can just go back and listen.
I will buy the game not only for me, but every person who I know who has a heartbeat that will last.
Yep. I am in the
heck. Even the people whose heartbeats I know are just ticking away, like they got 4 left. They'll get a copy. And you get the money.
And the thing that will kill them is playing that fucking awesome game. But we're not going to get into that. We're going to get into news stories this week. But before we do that, we actually like to start out Halloween month with horror movie, or rather just horror recommendations. We both came to the table with movies, as we often do.
Yeah, so I'm starting here.
Yes.
My horror recommendation for this month is Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, based on the amazing book.
Yep, produced by Guillermo del Toro, and it was directed by the Orvidal guy, the guy that did Troll Hunter and the Autopsy of Jane Doe.
I will take your word for it. Both good movies, and you can really feel all of that in this movie. It is amazingly good.
Yes.
I really don't want to get into it because I feel like it will ruin anything for you, but it is a period piece. It is late 70s, early 80s.
Well, they base it off of that awesome book that we grew up on.
So it has a nice little nostalgia piece. Unlike the Summer of '84, which we talked about last week,
and we can't say enough bad things about that garbage movie.
The nostalgia they did in this movie is more on par with Stranger Things. They have some nice. There's a nice scene in a drive-in. There's the typical late '70s, early '80s jock bullies. They do a really good job painting the picture of the time and how kids interacted with other kids of different classes.
And I would say not like to, because we don't want to, this is obviously its own unique piece, and I've not seen it, and I do want to see it. I wanted to see it in the theaters, but it did not come right around here. It came to Essex for a second. My sister works at the Essex theaters here, got me the Herald poster, which is awesome, because I need to, at some point, reach out to our good friend of the show, and
friend of ours,
and multiple interviewee, who also is tied to the Stranger Things, who played the Demogorgon, Mr. Mark Steger, who also played Harold, and I believe that the woman, the fat woman. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there's a lot of reasons to see this movie, and I believe it's now out to
It's on
purchase.
It's on VOD right now.
Yeah, it is.
And for sale. It's
so
not
I'm going to be.
Service.
It's not yet. I'm sure it'll be coming, but like at the same right now, I think you can buy it on VOD and on iTunes and all that kind of stuff. And at some point, that means probably in a few weeks or so, it'll come up to rent for $5 or $6. I'm definitely going to be watching it as soon as it comes up to rent because it sucked that I had to miss it in the theaters, but it did well, and it's Guillermo del Toro produced.
It's really good. My only gripe with it is the entire intro until we get to the scary stuff is a little drawn out, but not so much that you care. It's more character development.
So how do you feel about the fact, like, because like a lot of people are concerned about any movie that's not like R, and this was a PG-13 movie if I recall. But like people forget, like Poltergeist was PG. Granted, it would have been PG-13 if it existed at the time.
I have an issue with PG and PG-13 horror movies myself, and this one does a good job of not using blood or gore so far as I've seen.
Because the books didn't either. Like the books were like kids' books essentially. But that's why people had a problem with them, is they were supposed to be for kids.
No, but they do good horrific elements. There's a cool scene where a teenage bully is becoming a scarecrow, and the CG they use for it is amazingly well done and creepy as fuck.
So is that the one that like eventually becomes Harold? Because
there's Harold, and then someone fucks with Harold, and then Harold fucks with him, and then he becomes Harold.
Ah, sweet. Yeah.
It's the first horror element of the entire movie that really resounds and hits you. And it is CG, but it is done so well and so horrifically without using a drop of blood that I give this a resounding thumbs up.
And I will say transformations, I totally understand why they do CG, but like 90% of this movie, all practical effects. Mark Steger in painful outfits along with a lot of other like amazing monster character actors.
Mark Steger was actually CG'd more than most characters because there's a hole in the Scarecrow's chest.
A little green screening or whatever. But that's still like his arms, like it's not like a CG monster. Like it's sort of like the Demogorgon. When he played the Demogorgon, they had just that one little patch of like green screening on like the face part. Everything else was like legit animatronic or a suit that dude had to fucking spend like days in. So,
all right, what's your choice, Chair?
I went to see the awesome movie, and I was absolutely impressed by it. Zombieland Double Tap.
All right, moving on.
And Zombieland Double Tap. Zombieland Double Tap. I will have to say, if you have not seen the first one, you definitely should. Now you don't have to. You'll it's going to be a fun movie either way. But so many they do a lot of great callbacks. This is a movie that played pure fan service. If you didn't like the first one, don't bother trying with the second one because
how could you not like Zombieland?
I don't get how you couldn't because it's one of those amazing marriages of just like it's got like a great cast. It's amazingly written. I mean, the same people who fucking wrote Deadpool, that like wrote Zombieland and Zombieland 2. Those people know comedy, but also being fucking in your face, brutal, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
explicit.
Zombieland 2, it pays a lot of fan service, but also just tucks a couple new elements into it, but also is just there to be like, it's been 10 years.
How is
let's follow the formula and give it to you.
Can I ask you one thing?
Yes.
I have not seen this movie. I don't know. I'm going to try to go see it next week with my wife.
If it doesn't happen, I'm sure the good thing about nowadays, remember back when we were growing up, you'd have to wait 8 months before you'd be able to see it.
It'll be on 2 months.
Yeah, exactly.
Thomas Middleditch, famous for forcing his wife into an open relationship so that he could fuck other people and watch her fuck other people.
Oh, is that what's happening now with him?
Oh, you didn't know any of this?
I didn't know any of that.
Thomas Middleditch has a wife. He decided to tell her one day, hey, it'd be really cool if we just had an open relationship.
He's taking notes from Succession, the movie.
And she said no.
That's what Shiv did in
well,
Succession.
if you want to save a relationship, because apparently now it's in trouble after this talk, I'm going to fuck all these people, and I want to have you fuck all these people, and we're going to make each other watch.
Okay, I'm going to say I'm glad I didn't know that going into the movie, because Thomas Middleditch is just a Silicon Valley nerd.
I love Thomas Middleditch,
and I will say,
he is the biggest dirtbag.
What he had to play for this movie was exactly what you'd expect. I mean, I think anybody who's seen the preview is aware that there essentially there's doppelganger.
Yeah, he's the Eisenberg.
Yeah, so there's the Eisenberg doppelganger, and then Luke Wilson, who's fucking brilliant as well, plays the Woody Harrelson doppelganger. They're the same person, and it's creepy but hilarious. And the dynamic, the chemistry plays out awesomely.
No, I really wanted to believe
it is fan service.
Eisenberg wasn't the shitbag he was.
Oh, you mean Middleditch?
Middleditch, sorry.
Yeah.
And I kept reading more and more about him, and he forced his wife into a open threesome foursomes. Blah, blah, blah,
I don't get these guys that are just like they're not like they're not attractive. Yeah, they're not like these like attractive dudes who like. So he fell into this, and he like now he's like a successful comedic guy,
and he married the
and
love
he's got
of his
a lot
life.
of money, and he's doing well, and now all of a sudden it gets to his head. I'm like, dude, don't fuck with a good thing, man. Like.
Yep.
Be good, man. Come on.
She's apparently been forced into a lot of sexual acts that she is willing to do because she loves her husband.
I
is
had
unhappy with because that was not the married life she was looking for.
I had not heard that, and going into Zombieland 2, it's good if everybody maybe holds that aside because the Middleditch you get is the one you expect as the doppelganger for that.
I still comedically love him. He's on Comedy Bang Bang a lot, and he's one of the funniest.
And he does a great job in Zombieland for exactly what he's supposed to play. He plays it right.
I am a huge Middleditch fan. It becomes one of those like Cosby issues. He's not raping anyone, but he is making his wife extremely unhappy with his libido.
Well, that's the opposite of Cosby issue. Cosby raped people.
Well, he wanted to fuck them, and when they said no,
he gave them pills and then raped them while they were asleep?
Yes. Thank you. It's like you and I complete each other's sentences.
Complete each other rapes. No, not the same thing whatsoever. But creepo. No. He sits somewhere in between. I would say like I would say like in between the what's his name.
Also, who wants to have an open relationship with Middleditch except for the fact that he's on Silicon Valley and Zombieland? Like outside of the fame. He's a funny dude, but he's this weaselly little dorky dude.
Here's the thing. I could see, like, if you're, like, Leo DiCaprio going to a relationship open relationship, the woman's like, whatever gets me your dick on a regular basis is fine.
Also, I've never seen his wife. I'm assuming she is way hotter than him.
Yes, which also makes me just be like, hey, well, because it sounds like she wants to, like, he wanted her to also be included in all this stuff. Whereas if it was just an open relationship, be like, okay, you can fuck whatever little, nerd trolls you want, and I'm a hot woman, and I will just go have sex with people way hotter than Thomas Middleditch, who is not a hot man.
No, it's more like Thomas Middleditch is like, I want to fuck like 4 girls at once, and you're going to be one of the 4.
Yeah. But I hope she comes to the table.
Tomorrow night, I want you to fuck someone. And she's like, I don't really want to, but don't you love me? One of those kind of guilt.
Oh, so you think like you think like it was a combination? Like I want some of this like
fuck anyone he wants
multiple action, but maybe also wanted to be cucked a little bit too.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's like, I want all of my fantasies. Have you watched Succession? I don't think you have.
No, I haven't. But I think the cucking might literally just be his way of getting a get out of jail free card.
Yep.
Like, oh, you fuck that girl and or guy.
So then he forces her into a sexual relationship with a guy she doesn't want to fuck either.
You did it too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Like, and she's like, I don't want to fuck the BBCs. There's no need to.
Yeah. They have weird accents and they eat gravy in their breakfasts.
Yeah, that's right. That's what BBC
no one
means.
Eats baked beans for breakfast. No one.
Yes. Baked bean carousel. That's what BBC stands for.
Baked bean cucking.
Pour these bushes on your dick. I'm gonna suck them.
Pour these bushes on your bush.
So, Zombieland Double Tap, Scary Stories Tell in the Dark. Check them both out.
All right. We're starting a new segment this month. We started it late because this was a suggestion by one of our fans.
20 minutes ago,
I knew about this last week, but I brought
as far as like what we're bringing to the table today, like we literally came up with 20 minutes ago. This is fresh.
We might as well tell all of our radio listeners also that we're probably going to go over an hour. We don't know if it's going to be a few minutes or a lot of minutes, but once again, you can always go to your favorite podcast app, whether it's iTunes, podcast app on Apple, another Apple podcast app. I'm sorry. Here's
the thing. I stopped using Apple's dedicated one. You can use those if you want.
That's what I use.
I actually Stitcher's good. I like Stitcher.
Good, yeah. Use your favorite podcast
Overcast,
apps to actually subscribe to the show and listen to it that way. We don't want to take away listenership from the radio stations that you are helping to support because that's important.
So keep listening to us there. But if you want to listen to the whole gosh darn episode, we might hit over an hour like we sometimes do.
Well, we get cut off at 1 hour on the radio station. So literally go fast forward to the hour mark and keep playing.
Yep. Boom, boom,
also
boom,
gets
boom.
us a hit on both avenues. So you're hitting us up twice.
Yeah, you're helping us out. And you can, while you're trying to help us out, go over to iTunes, leave a 5-star review. We've not actually asked anybody to leave a 5-star.
Nor have we checked to see if anyone has. We might have multiple 1-stars that we need to address.
Oh yeah, we're like a 1.5-star podcast.
That Casey Anthony episode.
If that didn't get us 7 stars, I don't know what does.
Someone took the time to hack Apple.
That's gotta be easy.
Stars, and we're the only show with it, which means we might get flagged.
Yeah, but you know what? No, success is bad. What's the saying?
No news is bad news.
No publicity is bad publicity.
All of that, yes.
All of that stuff.
Also, we could become our own news story. The first podcast to get 7 stars, removed, had nothing to do with it, and then fought and got it back.
And now we're serving time in a Chinese prison.
Yes.
Because that's what's going to happen. Anyway, so we're
starting a new segment here. I came up with the name for it. I call it State of Horror.
Yeah, and you came up with the idea for it. Nobody else helped, which is great. I love the fact that
this comes from a long-time listener,
Scott Bear, and only Scott Bear. And I'm so glad that you came to the show with this because I was like, we need something fresh. And you're like, I have something I came up with right now, and nobody helped me with it. And I was like, dude, that is a great idea. I can't believe you came up with that all by yourself.
And the listeners are wondering why this one's going to run long.
Inside jokes. All right.
Oh, yeah. Astolfo, or Tin, we've referred to him both ways, but Astolfo's a longtime listener to the show, and he came up for an idea of like a cold open, factual, but also horror-related idea. It's, as we said in the title, State of Horror. Horror in different states, and we can basically pick a state each month and go through the year until we hit all 52. We're doing 2 this month because technically
by 52 we're saying the 50 states, DC and Puerto Rico.
Sure,
I think right because we want to get 52 out of a year.
But I also got this note last week and didn't have time to basically coalesce the idea into something workable for the show. So we are starting a week late on it. So we're going to combine Vermont, our home state where the show is being recorded right now, and our sister state, New Hampshire.
And this one actually came because you were like, oh, we should start with Vermont. And at first we started thinking about Israel Keyes. We thought about H.H. Holmes, Ted Bundy, these people. And I was like, wait a minute. There were 2, not serial killers, but prolific killers that came out of Vermont that you and I went to school with that turned our hometown upside down. And these were the 2001 Dartmouth killings by Jimmy Parker and Robert Tulloch. And I actually played music with Jimmy Parker. Was not a big fan of Robert Tulloch. He went by Beto. If you call him Beto, he'd fucking try to murder you, which I should have said a red flag there. Anyway, so in 2001, January of 2001, they actually went it was 2 Dartmouth professors, Hoff, I think, and Suzanne Zantop, went to their house, got in under the false pretense of wanting to do an interview with them, to discussing like a school project, a college project, something like that. They were very nice people and let them in, and Jimmy and Robert proceeded to stab them to death. About 3 weeks later, because it was like a neighbor of theirs, a friend of theirs, who discovered the bodies.
A dinner party that they were hosting that night. The first guest who arrived was the discoverer.
Right. Oh, yeah. So they were like, oh, we're gonna go to this dinner party. They found dead people. And blood all over the place.
That wasn't on the RSVP.
Yeah. Oh, costume party, and then she cuts herself up and lays on the
also lays down next to him.
And
by the time the cops come, there's 20 people, but only 2 are dead.
Oh my god, that's horrible. But but it turns out like they were a little bit sloppy, and they were 16 and 17 at the time that they murdered Hoff and Suzanne, who were in their 60s and 50s, I believe, and renowned Dartmouth professors, very renowned professors across the world, and they were sloppy. They left their knife sheaths, which were very unique, that they had purchased. I believe they may have purchased them online in early online transactions back in the day. And they had like actually pretty solid alibis by the time because they found those sheaths. They found like some footprints, things like that. They traced it back to these guys. They ended up talking to Jimmy Parker, and he had some pretty good alibis. By the time they got to Robert Tulloch, they're like, these guys are not the killers, but we'll just go and, they're like, you don't really have to talk to us, but blah, blah, blah. then they fled, and 3 weeks later they were found in Indiana after like a lot more came out and like a lot more pieces were like pieced together, and arrested in Indiana and tried and found guilty. Jimmy Parker got 25 years in prison. That was in 2001, so he's actually due out in 2026. And Robert Tulloch got life in prison. However, Jimmy Parker filed to try to get out a few years early. Was actually rejected because they were pointing out the fact that because technically he was allowed to do that after a certain amount of time because he was tried as like he was a juvenile tried as an adult. But they rejected it, saying we already gave him the minimum, 25 years with the minimum for brutally murdering 2 people. Robert Tulloch was, considered the mastermind, the true sociopath. I knew both of them. That is absolutely correct. The guy had no shade of humanity behind his eyes. He is actually due in December for a hearing because after they were tried, there was some unconstitutional considerations or constitutional considerations about whether or not it was constitutional to try this juvenile as an adult with life with no possibility of parole. So he probably still is going to have life, but he may be up for parole, but that is after he undergoes a 3-day hearing at a Supreme Court in Vermont. At a Supreme Court for the murder. Actually, and technically there were, I think it was over state lines. That's why it was like a federal, consideration or whatever. That's why also we're combining these as a New Hampshire, Vermont thing. These are Vermont-based people. So anyway, in December, there's actually going to be an update on this kind of stuff to figure out whether or not Robert Tulloch is even capable of ever getting out of prison. My guess is he's not going to, and I honestly think that's a good thing. That being said, we'll probably see Jimmy on the streets in a few years or so.
All right. Well, that is our state of horror.
Yeah, for New Hampshire and Vermont. Ooh. Also, that's probably about as serious as we'll get because honestly,
it's a heavy one to start with because we both went to high school with them. Yeah. I really don't remember them because
music with Jimmy. A friend of mine helped get or attempt to get Robert Tulloch impeached from the city council. The student council as president. He was student council president for high school at the time, and I think he was only like a freshman or sophomore at the time.
One of them dated a friend of both of ours.
Exactly, and her life got turned upside down. Our whole hometown of Chelsea got turned upside down. I was actually in college in Johnson at the time, so it didn't affect me as much except for what I was hearing. But obviously, it was a little fucked up. And then to go home and see Chelsea just being CNN and Fox and all these huge news organizations pestering your citizens because of this. You're known for this one thing for a couple of years. So. Yeah. And luckily 9/11 happened. Everyone was like, well, what? Dartmouth murders what now? Thank God for 9/11. Oh, that's going to be taken out of context. Moving on.
Well, we have that soundbite that we can always isolate, capture, and reuse in the future. Might become a new ringtone.
So we're still at the top of the show, but usually it's about half the show anyway. Scott, you've also been doing this new segment, which I've loved.
Only for the month of October.
Exactly. For this month, you are coming to the table. I'm going to play somebody that you're pitching. I'm a production company, a production studio. You're going to pitch me. Is it still 4? You got 4 this week?
I have 4.
Okay, so you're going to pitch me 4. I've got to pick 2 horror ideas. Could be TV shows or movies, right? So
these are all, the first week was to throw back vampire. Werewolf. The werewolf. Second week was vampire.
Yep.
This week is Frankenstein.
Okay, so you've been keeping I believe what you mean is a Frankenstein monster. I just want to correct you there.
Sure. No, I said what I meant.
No, I know, but we were talking at the bar earlier, and you were just like, oh, I'm trying to be really specific about this, and now I just wanted to play the dick. So anyway, I will let you pitch away while Mr. Producer pours himself a drink.
To be fair, if I say that someone is a Frankenstein or Frankensteins, I do mean the monster.
Yes, yeah.
Unless I give the caveat that it's Frankenstein's monster and creator.
I would say if you say Frankenstein, everybody should assume Frankenstein's monster. Otherwise, you mean otherwise you will say Dr. Frankenstein. Because honestly, I think that's how everybody thinks. Dr. Frankenstein means doctor. Frankenstein means the monster.
Because I realize I did fudge a little with the monster/doctor aspect.
Right.
But it all works for my thing.
Okay.
All right. So we have the 3rd reboot of Bleeding Hearts.
Okay, people. Pause this episode if you've not listened to the last 2, and at least listen to the first 15 to 20 minutes of the last couple episodes, because Bleeding Hearts has come up every time.
Yep.
And now I'm really curious, because I don't think it's been greenlit once.
This is the 3rd.
I hate to say it. I think I have thrown it out Both times.
Third reboot of Bleeding Hearts.
Is this going to be the winner?
3 middle-aged women who were also Frankensteins, all Frankenstein's monsters.
Of course, yeah, Frankenstein's. Yeah,
all fall in love with the same man the same day. Their Frankenstein hearts start rotting and failing. The only donor who can save them happens to be that man that they are all in love with. Who will win his heart?
Literally win the heart? Oh, this might be a Bleeding Hearts that I choose.
Half-hour sitcom.
You're going to draw that out. One person dying from giving their heart out somehow to seasons.
Oh, no, he doesn't give the heart. He not at first. I mean, they're dying, but they're Frankensteins. They die slow.
So you're going to draw people out multiple seasons and never give them a payoff?
It's always a sitcom. Bleeding Hearts is always a sitcom.
Could we make it a movie?
How about we move on?
How we move on and figure it out? Okay. All right.
The Diary of Anne Frankenstein's Monster.
Already greenlit. I've never greenlit something so fast in my life.
Persecuted as both a Jew and a terrifying monster. Give me a second. I gotta collect myself to read this. Persecuted as both a Jew and a terrifying monster made up of random body parts, we explore her life through a diary found in her attic laboratory. She's made apart Nazis, but with the heart of a Jew.
Okay, I'm gonna say I don't care what comes after this. This is one of the greenlit ones. I am greenlighting. No, what I'm saying is like
I have two more.
You have two more. I'm greenlighting that. This is unprecedented, folks. In our 3 weeks of doing this, I've never done this before. I'm greenlighting that before I hear the rest of them.
All right, you might have made a mistake. Next one.
I can't imagine.
Let's talk Frank about sex.
Okay, it sounds pretty good. It's
a romantic comedy about a Frankenstein monster who wants to transition to a woman to please a lesbian barista he falls in love with at the local coffee shop.
Am I supposed to greenlight this because it's all fucking progressive?
Hold on. He then finds that finding the right vagina isn't as easy as it sounds.
Well, he's like collecting it to...
Did I mention that... Did I mention he looks like the person whose genitals he's wearing? Well, he does. After a murder...
No, you didn't, but you knew you didn't say that, so...
After a murder spree harvesting vag, she begins to doubt he can become the woman she will fall in love with. Or is the problem Frankenstein's personality? It's about what's on the inside that counts in this love story.
God damn it, even though I don't even
every
like
time
it that much...
he cuts a vag out of a girl he thinks that girl will fall in love with, and he slaps it on... herself now.
Yeah.
He then looks like the person whose vag is attached to him, but that person may not be who that other person's into.
You know, this is the thing I hate about living in the time that we do. I don't know if that is considered the most offensive thing or the most progressive thing I've ever heard. They fucking blend together now.
Me too.
Because now what it is like this must be what it's like to be in Hollywood. You're like, I guess maybe people will think that's great, and then Twitter's like, fuck you.
It could go either way. Like literally, it's like
yeah, that's what they can do.
It's like
they can literally take
someone
different
puts
genitals
on a costume and suddenly look like the costume. They put on a different vag. Like he goes in with the Frankenstein dick and he looks like a dude.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I'm into girls. So he goes, kills like the hottest girl he sees in the street.
Around the corner.
Slaps the vag where
and
he rips the dick off, slaps the vag on, goes back in, looks just like her. And they don't click.
There's just like a flushing, like he just flushes like a dick down a toilet, like, and then comes out and be like, like a hot female out of the fucking women's bathroom or men's bathroom.
All right. I have one more.
Okay.
All the best parts.
I like it already.
A weekly hour-long thriller where each episode tells the tale of a person whose body part is now part of a Frankenstein monster. But each episode then deals with how they came to die. Each episode deals with their life, how they came to die, how they got harvested, and then becomes part of the monster.
Okay, so as a producer here, I'm too terrified to take any stand whatsoever on the third one. I'm throwing that one away. The first one, I'm sorry, Bleeding Hearts, I can't give that a green light yet again.
I'll try better next week.
But
we'll do one more.
But Diary of Anne Frankenstein, I knew I would love that, and I do not regret making that choice preemptively. I would have stood by it anyway.
Diary of Anne Frankenstein's Monster.
Anne Frankenstein's Monster. But the last one, what was the name of the last one?
Now we have
all the best parts.
All the best parts, and let's talk Frank about sex.
All the best parts has people love anthology series now. So greenlighting all the best parts.
Like you have an episode like literally where Frankenstein's like, "Han won't stop."
Yeah,
right.
But you see like the background.
Back to a writer.
Yes, yeah.
And it leads all the way to where his hand gets cut off.
I legitimately, I think like because anthology series are all the rage now. That I would absolutely. That's a good like Shudder exclusive like creep show that's like popping up.
It's all the body parts of a Frankenstein. Each body part is a different episode.
So greenlight, and also after we get all of these done, we have to go back and actually list the ones I've greenlit because I can't remember all the other ones. But like, so this week the greenlighting is all the best parts and the Diary of Anne Frankenstein's Monster.
Okay, here I can probably just do a. I'm going to write a bunch of W's because that's the letter I hit first.
Cool.
After the ones you liked.
That works. I'll definitely remember looking back.
Let's.
I'll remember looking back on the other ones.
Let's talk Frank about sex is a little problematic, but only because
I
don't know what's not.
Because and that's where I would say like, listen, this could score big in the progressive community. Like this could be a big progressive hit, or everybody's gonna just assume that we're trying too hard to be progressive, and now we're the biggest demons on the planet.
I think in the end it would be a tone-deaf romantic comedy.
Fear has pretty much eliminated the chance to take any risks in anything right now. So people have to water everything down and be like, "Hey, here's this."
It's like 50 First Dates, but the girl just keeps dating women.
I really like the concept.
But the girl just keeps dating women who have been murdered, severed apart, reconstituted into a monster, and then through magic.
Yeah,
like this is definitely a Disney movie.
I love the concept.
This is definitely a Disney movie.
Oh, 1 Million Moms would
new Disney
crush
princess.
that thing. They would never allow that to come out.
Think about the toys. They all have interchangeable parts. You take like part of the toy off.
Dude, you think like China would allow like 50% of the money Disney makes comes from China? You think they're gonna allow like a bunch of like trans progressive like shit to come out? It's not gonna happen. You can't do it. It can't be Disney.
All right.
It's gotta be Fox. You know.
All right. I'm still good with my ideas. So I'm glad you like 2 of them.
No, I liked all of them, and I will say this is probably the best Bleeding Hearts idea I've heard yet. It's just all the rest were better. So that's not to say.
Guess what that sound means.
That's not to say.
Guess what that sound means. You know what we're about to do? Where I'm cutting you off.
What's that?
Spiderweb Droppings.
Yeah, you know we already have a whole intro to that though. Oh, so even though I already did a whole song.
Yeah, that wasn't a good one. We'll start here.
I know.
The ad comes up after every sound now.
That could still be Halloweeny. No, Scott.
Not going either. Let's start over.
Scott. What I was saying is.
Let's start this segment. Hold on. Wait. 3.
Okay.
2,
really? Okay.
1.
Yeah. Sure. Welcome to Spiderweb Droppings. Those are bees. It's
I have a soundboard app on my phone that I forgot about until just now.
Because it comes out once a year.
Oh my god, there's one called Spooky Jungle.
I said jungle.
Is that spooky?
It's just a jungle.
I don't find that spooky.
First of all, I think like jungles are spooky. Because you know, like that's like all the cannibal movies, you know? So, for those of you tuning in for Spiderweb Droppings, I apologize that we will not be getting to the show proper today because Scott found an app. That brings us to blackface pumpkins.
Why are they a thing, Jer?
You brought the the story to the show.
I was literally testing you to see if you read the story.
I did. I couldn't. It's Bed Bath & Beyond.
Literally, Bed Bath & Beyond put out a novelty pumpkin. It's not a real pumpkin. It's one of those plastic ones that's fully
or
painted.
Foam or something, whatever.
Well,
yeah, right?
Whatever.
Yeah.
It's a thing you can use
it's
year and
not
year
a
and
pumpkin.
year. I hate to say it, I kind of dig a good fake pumpkin because it's a Halloween decoration that you can just plop out without having
you can
to spend
keep those year after
20
year.
minutes
Yeah.
of work.
Yeah. I mean, like if you want like something
20
unique,
minutes.
if like good unique, like if you want to do some pumpkin carving, or whatever, that's fine. Like you got to do at least 1 or 2 of those a year. But you also want some perpetual ones you can use over and over again.
Yeah.
Boom, boom, boom.
So they
plop
put
it out
out
there.
a black pumpkin that has white teeth and white eyes.
Yes.
So do you think there's a problem with that, listeners? Before you say anything, 179 people signed a petition saying it's a blackface pumpkin.
You know that's 0 people compared to the population of the United States.
It was
that
enough,
might as well be considered 0 people.
It was enough for bad
bats and beyond.
Bad Bats and Beyond.
Yep.
No, Bed Bath and Beyond to literally pull the entire line of these pumpkins
Because we live in a time where people react immediately to that shit.
So if you live in a landfill, near a landfill, near a Bed Bath and Beyond.
Yeah. I don't know. Like maybe you found an iPod that has this on it,
like,
and
these
it's 20 years later,
dumped out somewhere. Like I would want one. I don't see them as blackface.
No, because it's
black
not
is a Halloween color,
because
and the white teeth is because teeth are white.
And guess what? Pumpkins aren't people. Pumpkins aren't people. You can if you painted it red, people are like, you are racist. Like, no, people. Here's the thing. I guarantee you, it was a bunch of white people that saw it, and a bunch of really privileged white people who were like, oh, I assume this is bad, and they just were like, I'm gonna just stand up for the black man and make sure that like there's no blackface pumpkins out there. I bet black people walk by and are just like, oh good, they're black pumpkins now.
I think you're 100% right, but I think we have an expert here.
Uh-oh.
Wait, he's coming in the back door.
How racist this is getting.
he walks heavy.
Do I need to stop the show now? Or is this in principle plan?
For Halloween, everybody!
Oh, it's Mr. Barney Fife himself.
Back when I was a kid, if we wanted a black pumpkin, we just didn't have one.
This is Jimmy Stewart, right?
Shoe polish was a commodity. We would trade it on the stock market before all those little white dudes fell out the window.
Oh.
So, did you guys do anything weird with pumpkins? Well, sometimes we'd take the Negro kid down the street, or we'd paint him orange and knock out a few teeth. That's how we carved a pumpkin.
So that was way more racist.
That was entirely more racist than what Bed Bath & Beyond did.
Yeah, because you're painting a black man orange.
And knocking out teeth to make, it sounds kind of fun, though, to be able to knock
to make a
teeth
black
out.
Did he call it a black-o'-lantern? Am I making that up in my head?
I think you made that up in your head.
Okay, well, I'm still pretty proud of it.
None of us called it that. It was still a jack-o'-lantern, unless it was a Jamal-o'-lantern.
Oh, shit. That's somehow more racist than my black lantern.
I see Jess giving me a look. I think I'm gonna go out the back door now.
Yeah, just don't trip over the Anne Frank lantern on your way out. Oh, more things we shouldn't be saying. Actually, an Anne Frank lantern would be fine.
Yeah. Wait, would it? I'm really confused by today's culture.
Well, you definitely can't put a candle in it. That's for sure. That would be horrible.
Or turn to a pumpkin pie after by baking it in the oven.
No, none of those things we said. That means we're not racist because we didn't say anything offensive because we said we shouldn't do those things.
We shouldn't do those things. But yeah, that's pretty much the whole story.
Okay, yes.
Decide on your own.
Because I feel like racist people saw these that want to pretend they're not racist, and then they said, well, like, these look racist to me, and like 150 people were like, yeah, you know what, they think they do, and they're really fucking racist because I see these, and they're black pumpkins. That's it. Somebody spray painted a plastic pumpkin black. That's it. A pumpkin's orange. It's not Caucasian. You can't. No. It's not.
Oh, maybe you should just do a normal pumpkin. Yeah, like that Michael Jackson kid. Just paint it white and put a smaller pumpkin inside of it.
Actually, I will say this.
Actually, that's not bad.
I will say this.
It's also slightly racist because it's whiteface is no better than blackface.
Pumpkins are orange. If you spray painted a pumpkin white, would anybody give a shit about that?
Well,
because pumpkins are orange.
There are white pumpkins. They grow naturally.
There are actual white pumpkins.
Yeah, you can go to the grocery store right now and buy a white pumpkin.
You can let a pumpkin rot and it becomes a black pumpkin. Does that mean black people are rotten people? No, it doesn't.
No. I think the people who signed the petition are a little too sensitive, and
I think they're too worried, and I bet you 100% of them are white.
Honestly,
I would put money on it. 100% are white between the ages of 19 and 26.
Oh, I would have gone higher with those ages. I don't know why.
Oh, you think they're like boomers that are like trying to be cool by being too sensitive?
Maybe. I don't know. But I gotta
like,
say,
hey kids, look at me, I'm too sensitive.
I will honestly say I would have bought one if I had seen one. I saw the picture. They look pretty fucking cool.
They're cool. Black is a
and they're
Halloween
not
color.
They didn't paint like big red lips around the mouth or anything.
No, not at all. Like, okay, they are black. That's it. Also, they're black. They're not brown. They're black. They're dark black.
Also, traditional blackface back in the early odds of the past century was shoe polish black. So
if they smeared shoe polish on a pumpkin and the big old red lips, I'd be like, that is racist. These are black pumpkins. So because black is a Halloween color.
So no one.
That being said, I'm a white guy, but also I think all of the people getting upset about this are probably young.
I think what I gained from this conversation is that no one's going to like my Tupac Shakur Halloween jack-o'-lantern this year.
Does it wrap though?
No.
Is it a hologram of Tupac but with a pumpkin head?
No.
So it's
why does it need to be any of these things besides the tropes associated with dead Tupac?
Oh, is it just a corpse?
Hey, do you know what a jack-o'-lantern where the name jack-o'-lantern comes from? I want to change the subject really fast.
I think I hit the nail on the dead Tupac head.
Jack-o'-lantern comes from a old tale from, I believe, Ireland or Scotland, where a man named Jack sat down with the devil one night and was asked if he could trick him, and he managed to trick him, and when the trick was done, the deal was you have to turn into a coin. So Satan turned into a coin. And then
he turned into a coin?
Yeah. And then the next year, Satan basically came back from being a coin, and the same deal happened.
It took him a year,
and
he's all-powerful Satan, and he was like,
"Yep, it was till Halloween again." And
Satan needs to fucking get better lawyers.
Satan made another deal with Jack, and Jack said, "Well, I bet you if you climb this apple tree or whatever tree, fucking I don't care. You bet you can't come down." So Satan goes, "Fuck you, I'll climb that tree." Climbs it. So then Jack ran over and nailed crosses around the base of the tree, so Satan couldn't climb down the tree.
Oh, it's a gotcha. That's a gotcha bit.
So once again, he beat Satan at his own game.
Satan got beat in a banjo contest.
And then the third time, I forget what the deal was, but Jack lost. And was basically, he won. He said he didn't want to go to hell ever. And Satan basically took that as also you can't go to heaven. So Jack died. He wouldn't let him go to heaven because of his own deal he made. He was go to hell.
So he's in like a limbo.
So he was in limbo.
Yeah.
So Satan then laughed at him and said, "You're stuck in limbo forever." Gave him this hot burning coal and said, "You can use that as light to light your path as you walk around Earth for the rest of your life. Soulless, lost."
Why didn't he just use all the lights on Earth already, though?
So, because we're in Ireland, Scotland, early jack-o'-lanterns were actually turnips that were hollowed out and done the exact same way as pumpkins are carved, with the faces and everything.
Cool.
So he took one of those, put the ember in it, and walked around at night with that. And because of that, we have jack-o'-lanterns, because in America, we found pumpkins and there weren't turnips here, and we made pumpkin jack-o'-lanterns.
That's what we're all about.
So when you put a candle in a jack-o'-lantern,
that
is the ember Jack had to carry around after tricking Satan twice, failing the third time.
So we should be carving turnips is what the takeaway is here.
If you want to go on Google right now, every listener, pause the show real quick and look up
turnip carving.
Look up turnip jack-o'-lanterns. Everyone should be carving turnip jack-o'-lanterns because they are nightmare material. They will keep you up for nights if you look at them. They look like what Casey Anthony has around her house.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, Jared's actually Googling it right now.
Oh my god, I want one of these so bad.
They're so much scarier than jack-o'-lanterns.
So much scarier. They look like somebody really shrunk a baby.
Yeah, no, they look like shrunken baby heads.
I didn't shrink my baby. I just buried it. No, like, seriously, this is a carved baby head with, like, teeth. The teeth are so scary.
Because they're white, because the inside of a turnip is white.
Oh, this is so good. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I'm going to just carve turnips from now on.
I think I should this year. But where can you find turnips in this modern age outside of a Jewish deli?
Can I just go to Amazon.com and type in
turnips?
Are
you gonna fucking Amazon turnips?
I'm gonna try to Amazon some turnips while you talk about the next story.
Okay, I guess I'm gonna load up the next story. You really didn't know about that, Jer?
I did not know about that, yeah.
Okay, did you know about the story of Jack? That I bastardized horribly?
No.
Oh, anyone who wants a Wikipedia, the real story of the jack-o'-lantern?
White globe, purple top, turnip, 5 pounds, $23.94.
That's expensive for turnips.
It is. I think you can get turnips down at Shaw's.
Or the farmer's market, or the co-op.
Yeah.
They're all within walking distance of your
I'm like 2
studio.
minutes from everything you just said, yes.
So,
but I'm still going to order them from Amazon because I'm lazy.
A turnip-o-lantern, or a jack-o'-turnip, or just a traditional
pumpkin is not in the word.
No,
it's a traditional...
You're right.
Yeah,
I noticed that as I replaced the word pumpkin over and over with
something, like the word pumpkin is not in any of those. Yes.
But honestly,
turnip.
Honestly, if you want to do your own research on why jack-o'-lantern exists, there's more in-depth information. I very quickly breezed over it.
This shit is terrifying.
Also,
just
look up turnip
jack-o'-lantern. It's so good. Anyway, that's why we're a Halloween show.
Yes, you just learned a whole lot of new stuff that you would not have known before.
That's right, yeah. And that was honestly you teaching people, I think, was our new content for that story. And
that's the sound of a mobile game.
That's the ad. So Scott's little soundboard goes to an ad arbitrarily, and some of those before that were actually the ad sounds of somebody like trying to play Tetris or something.
Next story.
Botched assassination plot sees Chinese hitmen wheel and deal their way to prison. Now, this we're gonna try to like keep this relatively short. We probably have this story, maybe another one if we're lucky. 5 would-be assassins and 1 mastermind have been jailed for the attempted murder following a Chinese court case that revealed the lengths each person involved went in order to avoid actually doing the deed. Now, what ended up happening is there were a bunch of somebody needed to kill somebody. I believe it was for like some financial deal that they realized they couldn't afford. And they were like, you know what? I am... This is an ad, isn't it?
Sorry, my app is going off. And you guys probably can't hear it at home, but we're laughing about it happening here.
It is clearly not a Halloween sound. Anyway, so it turns out, so in 2013, businessman Tan Yui sought the services of a hitman in order to murder a competitor, offered 2 million yuan, which is $411,883 for the job. And it turns out that hitman contracted another hitman to do the job, but for a price about half of that of his original commission. Now, hitman number 2 then subcontracted to another hitman, who then subcontracted to a 4th, who then subcontracted to a 5th. But the 5th and final hitman got cold feet. By the time the contract had been passed on to him, the final asking price was reduced to just 100,000 yuan, about $20,600. Chinese publication Beijing News reported the low price irked the 5th hitman to such an extent it prompted him to get in touch with the target, Mr. Y, to ask him to fake his own death. A decision that led to the elaborate plot finally unraveling. On social media, some users are calling for a prominent Chinese film director to turn the farcical movie plot into a movie, while others are mocking the clumsy subcontracting as a typical Chinese business. Anyway, in 2016, all 6 men were acquitted over lack of evidence, but a successful appeal led to the case being reopened. That's why we're talking about it today, because it turns out the proceedings went on for 3 years and ended with attempted murder convictions for all involved. So that's where we are today.
I am so.
But it turned out the convictions at the time kind of mirrored the like the halving, like that almost where like one person got the maximum sentence.
Literally,
and then,
the amount of money for the murders as it decreased, the prison sentences
was like identical. Yeah, exactly. So the very first person who hired him
causation
got the most.
And correlation.
Yeah.
Chorality. Oh, chorality? Is there a sound for that? No, just hard.
Nope. I just figured it would be a Tetris ad or something. Chorality.
Nice, I like that.
Can you use it in a sentence? No? Okay.
I had to get my dead horses back in the corral, but due to their corrality, they wouldn't move.
Corrality. No, we did
Corrality, the state of a horse that can't be corralled.
Okay.
They are in a deep state of corrality. I think we just invented a new word.
I think we have time for one more story. Do you want to pick which one you want to hit to?
Oh my God!
See, we got Kmart, we got UK show, we got Man Attack's roommate. We thought was a vampire.
We can do 2.
Okay,
let's do Kmart.
Okay,
Kmart,
no, that is a short one. Yeah, you're right.
Kmart,
that's like a headline.
Kmart pulls a Halloween costume this year from its line of Halloween costumes for, I believe it was 4 to 8 year olds. This is the child bride costume. That's not what they called it. They called it a wedding costume for children.
It's a bride. It says bride costume.
That is the same thing,
but not a child bride costume.
No,
it's a bride costume for children because children are like, I want to get married like mommy someday. Yeah, fine, fine.
I did the deep dive on this. I read through all of the story. That was my deep dive.
Your deep dive was reading 17 lines of content.
Well, what I want to preface is that the sad part is the statistics at the very end, where I believe they say it's like, it was something gross, like 1 million children per month are married off.
Each year, 12 million children, girls as young as 6 years old, are married, sold or married off by their family without their consent.
Jer? How many months in a year?
That is 1 million child marriages per month.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
On average, yes.
I'm just very proud I remembered that because I didn't open my notes.
But I bet
I remember my child bride statistics. Those are the numbers that matter.
Yeah, those are. I don't know prime numbers if they bit me in the asshole, but goddamn it, do I know that 1 million child brides are sold off right now. And here's the thing,
sir, this is Officer Jenkins. Do you know why you're in trouble now?
I
don't know how old she was, but I know a lot of other numbers.
Yeah, 12 million child brides are married off once a year, just in one big old bunch. So it's one big old correlation of child brides is what we got. Anyway, the thing I hate about this,
there's a bit of corrality between the number of dead horses and the amount of girls I keep in my stable. You see, the more horses that die, the more young girls I can keep in the stable. That's called corrality.
That's corrality. That's corality. So this is actually similar to what we had before. This petition received 179 signatures.
Did I probably messed something up with the pumpkin one.
That's a little convenient.
I'm going back because I believe it was exactly the same.
It was insanely low for sure.
You keep the story going.
So the petition received 179 signatures. The retail giant pulled the costumes on Tuesday afternoon. I think this is ridiculous because what it is, it's almost making it seem like if a child wants to dress up as a bride, somehow it's gonna make fucking adult perverts want to marry them more. It's not the same thing. This is ridiculous.
I mixed up the numbers.
Okay.
The blackface pumpkin story was the pumpkins were removed after a local news station did a report.
There wasn't even a petition on that one.
Just a local news
exactly.
station.
And the person, I believe, I recall the person who was even like, I don't find anything wrong with this, but the fact that some people do, I'm just going to go ahead and play it safe. But yeah, so this is the one with 179 signatures. Kmart pulled the costumes. Scott, this is ridiculous because you're blaming it on the fucking little kids that they want to dress as like their mommy when they were married. It's not the same thing because the kids dressing as a child bride is not the thing that is causing the problem of marrying kids off. I can't imagine there's somebody be like, I never thought about marrying a kid until I saw old Lisa fucking dressed up as a bride for Halloween, and then I wanted to fuck again.
I agree 100%, except also, really, what little girl wants to dress as a bride for Halloween?
Girls want to dress
unless it's a bride of Frankenstein or a dead bride or a zombie bride.
But here's the thing: even if it's not that, and it's like the parent wanting to dress their kid, like it doesn't matter.
Wouldn't you go princess?
But like,
wouldn't you go princess?
I would go princess. But the thing is, like if you're
in that forceful redneck family where the dad's like, nah, you really want the child bride where they're at Kmart and they're like holding the two up. He's like, nah, you want child bride.
You want bride? Yeah, that's right. No, you ain't no child princess. You more like a child cum dump.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, Jesus Christ would disagree with all of this. And what I would say
is... We need the child cum dumpster costume. It's just a cardboard box painted to look like a dumpster with graffiti on the side.
Oh God!
But she gets a crown.
Okay,
she gets a crown.
I would disagree with that easily, but this is the thing. Kids will like see their parents and be like, I want to be, I want to be like what my parents. They want to be a mom. They want to take care of little babies. Like, okay, how about this? From now on, little girls are no longer allowed to have dolls because that means they want to be impregnated and take care of babies. Right. That's not the case.
Nope,
that's not the case.
I get your logic.
It's not because kids want to dress up as brides that's causing the problem. You can't blame the fucking kids for wanting to dress up as a little bride.
No, it's creepy
the
dudes.
perverts.
It's creepy dudes.
The perverts aren't like walking around town going like, oh, I didn't want to fuck a baby till I saw a child bride like costume. No, that person is. It's a causation correlation thing again.
Yeah,
there's no.
That same pervert isn't gonna be like, oh, that 6-year-old's wearing a pumpkin costume. Oh, it's wanting to fuck me a pumpkin.
Well, I really wanted to marry a child, but she's dressed as a pumpkin, not a bride, so I guess that's out of the cards. Yeah. Like, and then like what? She's like anybody's going up to the parent, being like, I noticed you dressed your child as a bride. There, you mind if I marry her? Be like, oh, dandy. Most of the countries that people are like married off as child brides probably don't celebrate fucking Halloween.
Oh no, it's like third world countries.
Yes. Oh, and like it's not even third. Like they could be first world country, but just with those like backwards the
we're looking
the
at
Saudi
Arabians
and whatnot.
We're looking at you, United Arab Emirates.
Yes, sure.
Yeah, you can't bring weed in your country being a fucking 5-year-old.
Yeah, you can marry a child, but but what we're concerned here would be like, oh, we're promoting like childbirth. No, let a kid dress how they want and blame it on the fucking dirty ass adults doing this damn shit.
I agree with you 100%.
And don't tell like a kid or people like that want that are fine with this that it's not okay because you're not helping. You're not helping at all. You're patting yourself on the back and then not helping because you think you did good. And you're fucking fucked.
Now, I don't like saying this as a cis white male, but I think the line for me as a parent of a near teenage daughter would be slutty costumes marketed below the age bracket.
That would be a problem, yes.
That's where I draw the line because I don't want my daughter being like, I could be a cheerleader this year, and the skirt is literally 2 inches long. 2 inches,
yes, yeah. Like people who like parade their kids out in like child beauty pageants, and they're wearing like bikinis and shit like that.
Yeah,
it's like
creepy.
It's creepy
and fucked up.
Yeah, and because that, I mean,
that's how John Bonet died. That's how John Bonet died.
If a little kid,
she wore the wrong Halloween costume to that ballerina pageant.
You don't even know it.
It's good you don't know. It's good I don't know. It's healthy I don't know.
Kids get if kids want to like they like dress up in that like because they're at like going on the beach. Because it's comfortable, that's what they should do. Because it's once again up to adults to not sexualize children and not to assume that children are being sexualized, even though they might be by like creeps. You shouldn't fuck up a kid's life because of the creep sexualizing people. That being said, but then when you sexualize your child, I hate to say it, child beauty pageant is literally that. Like that's what you're doing. So there's stuff like that. Allowing your kid if they choose to want to like dress up as like a fucking child bride. That's fine, but yes, but if they're like, I want to be a slutty cheerleader, that's a problem. But it is a problem.
You also should probably stop using the words, they can dress up like a child bride. They're dressing up like a bride.
Who happens to be a child.
Just drop the word child, it becomes a little less problematic.
Yeah. Yeah. So you want to? Oh no!
My God,
I was so bad.
Jer, I have an idea for a new segment next week, and also because it's Halloween week, I think we're definitely going longer than this week.
Yeah.
How about we come up with a list of 5 each problematic Halloween costumes?
I'm gonna keep kids out of it because I'm already getting real gross. I'm already feeling real gross even talking about this.
No. I don't care if you go. I don't care where you go. Problematic Halloween costume.
If it's problematic for us, first of all, yes, we're doing that.
No.
Yes,
we're problematic for normies.
Yes.
We're not normies.
No. What I'm saying is like I'm gonna go dark. Like it's getting bad. So we will put that in there. So anyway, I think it's ridiculous that people. I just feel that this is the blaming the victim kind of thing of like this is not connected to the issues of people marrying children in the world. And what it does is people who argue against this thing and sign these petitions pat themselves on the back and feel they don't have to do any more work because I helped. You didn't help. You didn't do anything good whatsoever. You're fucking something up. I don't care. Like if this thing never existed, it still wouldn't make a difference. What you're doing is making yourself feel like a hero by doing nothing for the thing that you supposedly care about. You know what? Actually go out and how about this? How about start talking like shit against, like religions that fucking promote this kind of shit. Oh, but no, then you might get in trouble and you might get hurt. You won't do that, but you'll fucking go rally against Kmart on Twitter because you're a hero, fucker.
Hey, I'm going to give a teaser. This is not going to be one of my 5 problematic Halloween costumes for next week, but this is my first idea.
Taste.
Yeah. I'm going to go to Halloween as a cappuccino machine.
Yep.
With a bit of a colored sweater torn on the handle that you pull down for the steamed milk.
Okay.
And I'm going to call myself Rape Survivor. Because the cappuccino machine never got raped.
I'd like to point out that that is not a preview. It's got to be much better than that. Come back next week, please.
Hey! Oh no! You want some extra? I can't do it.
No.
You want some extra froth on that pussy? Oh, yeah, we're out. Get lost.
Oh, play a bunch of those sounds.
Oh, you want me to play more sounds?
Yeah, play a bunch of those sounds.
Are we still recording?
Yeah, we're going to go out on this.
All right, we're going to go out on anything I just do right now.
Yeah.
Wait, it's an ad.
Do you have dick problems? Sometimes when you have dick problems, you should see somebody about the dick problem. Dickproblems.com has you covered.
All right, I got past the All right, we're still rolling, right?
Yeah, we got it. Yeah. Go.
All right, get lost.
Get lost.